Okay, we're looking at a video from SchruteFarms on Orisa. This is Gold 1 on PC on Rialto. I've been playing more Orisa lately. I feel like I'm improving. Recently I had this game on Rialto that I thought I played well enough to win, but we just came up short. Uh, I'll quickly note that while I'm Gold 1 in this game, I think my internal MMR is closer to mid-plat. That's very hopeful. And that the rest of the lobby is at least plat. I'm going to play quick play. I almost always get plats and diamonds in those games. I think that quick play and competitive have totally separate MMRs, so it's not necessarily helpful. So that's what makes me think I have a general idea of what my internal MMR is. And this is on PC. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. So, yep, I think it's a pretty normal spot to play as Orisa. Spam a little. So I think it's actually more important, weirdly enough. Usually I talk about how you want to hold angles like tightly, like close. In this scenario, I would actually go wide. I want to see both doors when they come out, right? So for example, if you were only looking at the right door, so if they had a ball who suddenly rolled out over here, you wouldn't actually have seen that. It's like a very minor detail, but I would do that because it's really important. Scouting is super important in this game. And I think a lot of coaches actually don't talk enough about how important scouting is to the game, especially since it's switched to the 5v5 format. Okay, I think you kind of cut it close there, right? That hog was clearly coming up to hook you, and he could have thrown that hook a little bit earlier. So right about here, he could have hooked you, and then you would have been super screwed, right? You would have died right there. So just to confirm, look at when he throws this hook, and look how much farther the hook goes. So this extra distance, roughly one body length, so he could have hooked you like right here, and you would have gone straight into the water and been screwed. So yeah, don't play with fire like that. No reason to. So another thing, your heat management is just not that good, right? You spam a lot, way too much of this away. Like you're literally maxed out right now, and I don't think you hit anyone yet. Again, I don't think you should play past this corner. I think it's really dangerous. Your team cannot help you, typically, right? You see how your Ana's over here. If anything happens around this corner, your Ana can't help you. Okay, so I think, again, just play back, play safe. Most important thing, do not get hooked into the water. That's really the only way that Hog can kill you quickly. So just play safe here, and Orisa's a very strong matchup against Hog. I think Orisa is favored in that matchup. So the most important thing here is just do not die to the Hog, and you should win this fight. Okay, Reaper drops into your face. You are cutting it way too close. So again, don't drift out here, right? Better Hogs will have hooked you when you're out of that position. I would also watch out about being hooked through this doors, okay? Honestly, the safest spot is like right here. There's no reasonable spot the hog can hook you where you'll be in trouble. So, you pop fortify here. Why did you pop fortify? Right, it's just to dodge the hook. Right, so you saw hog used hook, so you don't have to worry about hook for another 6 seconds. 5 seconds, whatever it is now, at least some time. Right, you pop fortify and you pop spin, both of which you don't need right now. You're not being attacked. You're already safely behind cover. This is a big deal. Not having your cooldowns is actually going to mess you up really, really badly. Fortify is a long cooldown. It's like 11 seconds, 12 seconds. Spin's on a 7-second cooldown, so not really as bad. So you can use spin much more liberally. Every time you use Fortify, it is a commitment. Okay? Every time you use Fortify is a commitment. You must think, did I use, just like using Ana Grenade, okay? You must think, was that the right time to use Fortify? Having better Fortify usage is a huge difference maker. Spin, okay, you can mess up some spins. Fortify, if you mess up a Fortify, you're probably going to lose the fight. It's really, like, often that straightforward. Okay, so you don't have Fortify and you don't have spin right now. You should almost always have one or the other up. You send him to the wall, Reaper's in your face. So right now I would spin because this Reaper will kill you in 3 hits. So you don't have anything right now, you've made a big mistake. You should immediately try and target the Reaper, right? The Reaper is 100% your priority. Okay? You spin here, which is good, right? Getting away, making sure you don't get hooked. And now you should recognize, I don't have either one of my defensive cooldowns now. This is potentially dangerous. You saw the Reaper teleport, but he's got 1 health, so I'm not worried about it. Like, out that low, he's not going to kill my backline either. Go back to facing the hog, all right? You don't want to peek this corner. Just play here, right? If you play here, everyone in your team can shoot the hog, but nobody over here can shoot you, right? Don't give the other team the ability to put damage on you if you don't have to, okay? You should instinctively, when this type of situation happens, this happens all the time in Overwatch, okay? A 90-degree turn where their tank steps forward, your goal should not be, let me face him straight on the lane. Your goal should be, let me place it like this, play it like this. Then their tank has to fight you and the rest of your team at the same time. It is very, very hard for them to do that. Don't worry about the Reaper. He's got 1 health. There's no healing over there. So when Hog throws hook, you should throw Javelin immediately. If you don't have Javelin, you should spin into him to eat the shot. don't assume the Hog will miss. Okay, he's clearly going for, I think there's Mercy here, right? And you should assume that he's going to land the hook, right? When he throws that, I immediately spin into him to knock him off and prevent him from getting the kill. Because if you try to wait to see if he lands the hook on the Mercy, I don't even know where the Mercy is. What the heck? What is this hook? Oh, yeah, she's over there. If he lands the hook and then you try to react, the Mercy will be dead. You just don't have enough time. You have to start going right away when he throws the hook. All right? Always throw Javelin to interrupt Hog heal. Right? Spinning here is not the right call. So they're playing against the Bastion. You must think like big key points for Bastion. Always keep spin ready against Bastion. Fortify alone will not save you from Bastion because he just does way too much damage when he's in tank form. Okay? Again, Bastion is 6 seconds up, 10 seconds down. Is always the way to think about it. I think it's 10, right? So 6 seconds in tank form, 10 seconds outside of tank form. On defense, you should understand, hey, they're going to 6 seconds where they're strong. I just need to survive for 6 seconds. Spin lasts about 2 seconds. I think it's like 1.75. So that'll buy you a little time. You have to get the cover, and then when it's over, you get to push and take that space back. Offense, the exact opposite. You play safe until tank mode's ready. When tank is ready, you push. Okay? When tank mode is down, you play safe. Okay, you're taking a lot of damage here. Right? You should chill. Just use a card. Right? Use natural cover. Right? Cool. Hog messes up. There's no reason you should die there. You got a little bit of an opportunity right now to farm ulti. Okay, you're not gonna kill the Bastion, right? He's being double pocketed. What I tell people is, again, being double pocketed should never die. Get very lucky there because the Kiriko is shooting at you instead of healing the Bastion. This is a bad mistake. Don't go to their spot. No reason to be greedy. Yeah, just leave. Remember, you can spin, spin and turn around, and you move faster because the speed boost only helps you when you're moving forwards. This is a mistake. Okay, you were so safe playing so well over here, right? You were doing a good job holding this space. Don't play out here, right? You wouldn't play at the start of the game. Don't play out here now. There's no reason to, right? They can drop on top of you. It's a 5v1, 5v2, right? As soon as they start pushing, your team's gonna go back, and you're gonna be left extended here. I feel like you're feeling like cocky because the beginning went so well, right? You already saw the tank switch. Don't shoot walls. All right, Bastion goes up. You're not tracking the Bastion, right? Again, you know Bastion's gonna turn tank form, right? 6 seconds up, 10 seconds down. You have to keep that in mind. You're not reacting to this at all. You're very lucky your supports keep you up there. You really shouldn't die. Okay, yep, you spin, you push them back. Just remember, Bastion's gonna come back in tank form in about 5 seconds. Right? See, he's got 6 seconds left. So you have to think, what's my plan? In 6 seconds, you'll have spin, but save the spin for the Bastion. Really, really important. They're trying to push in on you. Okay? You think about ultiing? I don't think you should ulti here. Right? Again, stalemates are good for the defense. If they aren't making any appreciable progress, you don't need to spend anything to stop them. Okay? You should only use your ulti when it feels like you need to stop the push. If you did not push this, okay? If you stayed at the corner safely, right? Reaper goes to the right, great. Just hold the corner. Okay? Reaper is there shooting. Okay? See? As soon as you start walking in, you lose awareness of where the Reaper is. If you've been playing here, you could react to this Reaper on your flank. Right? Just play the corner. At this point, you can hear the Reaper on your right. You should have turned and immediately dealt with the Reaper. Even with the Orisa on your backside, it doesn't matter. Orisa doesn't actually do much damage. You can turn around and hunt down this Reaper and make sure he doesn't kill anybody. Because the rest of his team, you notice, cannot help. So it will be a 5-on-2, right? 5 versus you plus the Reaper. You will kill the Reaper or force Wraith really quickly, and then you can go back and deal with the Orisa. Okay? Now, you over-pursue. The Reaper's going in, has killed your soldier. Should that have happened? No, it really shouldn't have. Okay? But sometimes DPS lose duels. That's a thing that will happen. Okay, now your tank is going and putting pressure over there. You are trying to kill the backline over here. But again, see how much damage is being done to your backline. You can't get the kill, then you're forced to spin out. Right? And now you're very lucky that this is stable enough that you can come back. Right? The right call there would have been simply just mirror the Reaper play. Okay? Unless the front was pushing at the same time. That's a different story, right? If all 4 of these push simultaneously the Reaper, then you have to stay in the front. But in that situation where the Reaper is overextended, he goes too quick. I think you just stay or rather you hunt him down right away. That's a really key part to climbing, is just recognizing when people overextended and then killing them. Okay, again, too far. Go back. You heard the Reaper teleport. You know he's right on top of you. So that's a good kill. So for the DPS, you save Javelin for Reaper to make sure to interrupt Death Blossom. I would assume that he either has it or is very close to it because it's been like 4 fights now. I would definitely assume Reaper has Blossom by now. Javelin for Reaper, spin for Bastion tank form. Okay, if the Bastion goes ultimate relatively close to your team, you could potentially spin in there and interrupt it with your Javelin. But usually that is not a risk that you can take. But just remember those keys just against those two DPS, because you're very, very strong against both of them. Okay, you spin here, but you don't need it, right? You're at 457 and being healed. You don't need it. You don't need this. Just farm. Just farm ulti, right? Okay, good. So you're playing back in the choke, right? Again, use a spin you didn't need, right? Again, Bastion. So this is a great example where it's close enough that you might think about javelining into spin to interrupt it, but it's not worth it. Just play safe, right? I literally just give it the choke right now. It's like, okay, they popped ulti. The most important thing is that, you know, I just try to make sure nobody dies here. I play here. If the Bastion ults me, then you spin and you get out, right? Right? He's clearly ulting you. Gets to get out. You get sucked in, spin out. So remember, spin doesn't stop Orisa ulti. Okay, it only stops projectiles. So when she's sucked in like that, you should have immediately just spun and faced away from her and walked out. Right? You end up taking a bunch of damage from this Orisa ulti because you just don't spin out fast enough. Right? Again, really don't waste your abilities. Huge part of playing all heroes, but for Orisa in this situation particularly, you really need to get out of it, right? See, you take that extra 150 plus damage that you didn't need to. Okay, now they're in. Reaper ulted and killed your Cassidy. Not a lot you could have done about that, right? Because they did a good job timing. They did the Orisa ulti, they did the Death Blossom at the same time. They pushed at the same time. It's tough. If you had Fortify, okay, let's say you waste both Fortify and spin here. Could you have made a scenario, right? I think in this situation, right here, I would have ran to this corner once I recognized I saw the circle, so I saw the safe spot. So right here, if you had Fortify and Spin available, right? If you hadn't wasted them, which is theoretically possible, you could have popped Fortify right now, so that Orisa ulti is definitely not going to kill you. Javelin the Reaper, and then spun in to push the rest of the team back, right? That's probably the best play here, or potentially just Javelin the Reaper and just kill him and then walk out this way towards the alley. But wasting both of your abilities puts you in a really bad spot here, where there's very little you can do to impact the fight. So, fight's over, Orisa's pushing you back, right? You have to recognize, hey, can I actually safely get out of this? I would probably say no, but the team's not pursuing you enough, so we'll take it. Right, playing this corner, that's the right call. Soldier's dead, nothing you can do, okay? So, in this situation, this is not the right call. So, one thing I always tell people is, do my odds of winning get better or worse the longer this fight goes on, okay? Right now, it is a 5-on-3. So you don't want to fight this right now. You want to buy time. That's the whole reason the payload exists, is as a time mechanic. Otherwise, snowballs will just continue forever, okay? So you just need to stay here and wait as long as you possibly can, right? And then push in at the last moment. Why? That gives time for your DPS to spawn, DPS/support to spawn, so that you can then retake this point, right? You want a 5-on-5 right here. Basically the last meter when it's about to cap the point. You going really early now gives you no chance at winning. You now have to fight all 5 of them. Right? Bastion does this, and then what are you gonna do? Right? You get nanoed, which is lucky, right? You actually could have killed the Bastion there. So, watching this again. So, if you landed the Javelin slightly earlier. 2, 1. Right here. I mean, it's close. But, yeah, I mean, the biggest problem is simply you shouldn't have taken that fight then, right? Again, stall for time, try to get your team back. You have to know who's up, who's down on your team. So, in that Reaper matchup, okay, very important to hold space. If you give up this upper area, the balcony, your team is going to get walked over because they're just going to sit up here and they're going to rain down fire on your team, and your team is going to be forced back to this choke. You really can't give this up unless you absolutely have to. So when you go up here, you see Reapers here, you miss Javelin, okay? Pop Fortify and fight it out, right? This is the time where if you want to fight it out. He's not going to beat you with Fortify. Not unless he's like way better at shooting than you are. Like, you should definitely win this fight. Fortify halves the damage, so you effectively have 700 health right there, and you can't be headshot, and you have spin coming up. You should definitely win that close range fight if you pop Fortify. Like, he might Wraith and try to stick around and fight it out, but in that straight one-on-one, you should win that. Okay, good javelin on the Kiriko, but you're not able to just follow up again. So you know Bastion just popped tank form, so you got some time here to make a play. So you go ahead and you try to ulti. One thing I noticed is that your ultis are not particularly good. Number one, you're not tracking whether or not you force defensive cooldowns, okay? Has Suzu been used? Has Swift Step been used? Has Guardian Angel been used? Number one. Number two is you're doing them too far away. So watch where this goes. Right? The Orisa's bumping you back with spin. All you pull in is the Orisa. Sure, no problem. Right? Orisa doesn't care. Just walks out of this. Right? Get Suzu. Even if you popped it, I wouldn't have killed her. So what should you have done instead? Well, either A, right, you try to bait out spin so Orisa can't actually stop you. B, you pop spin way too far away, right? You pop spin from all the way over here. The Orisa saw you coming, she's able to match you. If you walk up to here and then spin in quickly, it's much harder for her to react. So you should have waited for the team to just push up a lot further than where you actually did. Okay? But I think it's really important to get good ultis off. I think spinning in and ulting is a very common way to do it, but you're just not executing that right now. Right? You wouldn't have killed the Orisa even if she didn't get Suzu. Alright, ulti happens, you pop fortify. Right? It's a good job to back up here. Right? Don't waste javelin when she's fortified. Javelin's a really strong ability. So, you play way back here. I don't know what your Mercy is thinking. Maybe she's like trying to go for the soldier res, but she can't be playing there. There's nothing you can do about that. Okay, it's a 5-on-2 situation. The cart is moved pretty far. I think that you come back to here and you just play here and you give your team time to come back. Realistically, I think you're going to get at most a 3-on-5 contest here. I don't think you're even going to get a 4-on-5 contest, but I would still contest it anyway because ultimately this fight's over and you're going to respawn for free once the point is contested. So I think you just try to play time, okay? Save your abilities. It's really important to save your abilities because what you actually want to do here is you want to bait out ultimates. You're not going to win this fight, but you want them to force them to use ultimates or get scared and use ultimates here in order to have fewer ultimates for your next fight. Again, why did you pop Fortify? You don't need Fortify here, right? You're full health. The Orisa's like not even shooting at you. She's just spinning. The spin only does 100 damage, and that's if she hits you with the whole thing. Okay, now Reaper's in your face. Now Fortify would be useful, right? If they're like continuing to put pressure on you, right? If you had Fortify, you could have walked forward there. You end up giving up this point, which is, you know, not great. Okay, you killed the Orisa, so I'd walk forward now, right? Bastion's in tank form, but we got a chance to maybe pick off these two and get a stagger, right? So javelin, right? Good, good stagger. All right, Reaper's back. Again, you can't play out here, but you know, always worth it. You every single stagger you get, you buy yourself another 10 seconds. Okay. They pop Kitsune Rush. It's a bad rush. I would know that right away. Hit the cart because I can hear it and I can see the gate, but I can see that it doesn't keep going. So I know as long as I play it just a little further back, it's not going to do anything. Again, same thing. 90-degree turn. You want their tank to turn into your team. You do not want to turn this corner, right? You don't even want to be playing here. You actually want to back up a little bit. That way your whole team can shoot their tank. Okay, pop. You don't even need to fortify. Just spin out, and that way you could save fortify here. Right? Fortify is a more powerful ability than spin is, typically. Okay. So, in this situation, you're nanoed. Okay? You saw the Reaper was low coming in. I don't know if you saw that Wraith Form happened or not, but at this point, you got to be going in. The tank is your worst target, because everyone's going to keep the tank up easily. Right? Don't even bother using Javelin on her. I would immediately just start trying to track down the supports, DPS, anything I can get. Again, she's fortified. You have to kill anybody else but her. You have to stop shooting the tank, right? You saw that the Kiriko's on the right, okay? You saw the Mercy, you could see the Bastion, you saw the Reaper went to the left. You have a lot of options here. So, yeah, definitely target other people. Okay, Bastion's in tank form. Again, this is why spin's really useful. If you could spin and just jump here, the Bastion won't have a clear angle to shoot anybody. And that's why he's just massacring your team, because you're not cutting off those angles for him, right? See, he just guns them down. If you were standing right here with spin up, you could stop him from killing your team. Okay, Reaper goes now. There's not much you can do about that Reaper ulti because you are doing the right thing stopping the cart here. It's just that you didn't stop the Bastion from killing your DPS, but you can't do all the jobs. I think your priority here is still to hold the front. Right? I think you have to give up a lot of space here right now. Okay, again, you're pretty low here. You know you're down 1. You have to give up more space right now because you're not going to be able to hold this. right? Bastion's not in tank form, but still, like, I don't think you can win this fight, right? Orisa still has fortify. You can't win this fight. You wisely jump back. I think this is the right call. Now Orisa doesn't have fortify, okay? But she's gonna have spin. If not already, then she's gonna have it very, very soon. So I would wait after her next spin, and then you can be aggressive. But remember, Bastion's gonna be ready in probably 4 seconds is my guess. It's hard to tell. Yeah, he's actually ready right now. So you waste spin, but you don't track a Bastion, and now you're dead. Right? You get absolutely massacred here. Push back. Okay. Again, look how much damage you're feeding to the Bastion. Right? Who's gonna have ulti again and use it against your team? As Orisa, I think it's really easy, almost easier than Hog, to feed ult charge. I think Hog, you naturally take cover because even though you can heal and resist damage, like you don't actually stay out there that long. Orisa, because you're constantly available, you can be a giant ult battery to the opposing DPS. So just something to always think of. Okay, again, another fortify. You're basically at full health. There's no reason to fortify right now. My general advice is to save fortify for after ultimate. Because after ultimate, you're usually in a very vulnerable position, assuming you haven't killed everybody in the team, which is rare. So you want fortify after this to be able to get out / confirm kills. Using fortify to get in is almost always a mistake, unless you know for sure it will kill the opposing team. So now you don't have fortify to survive this, right? Again, I would wait for Suzu. It's hardly, like, it's really hard. Suzu lasts only like 0.6 seconds now. You can just hold the ulti longer. The Bastion's not going anywhere. He's in ult form. So just, you know, hold it longer, wait and bait out the Suzu. Also, I would note is, I don't know if you knew this, but the damage you do in ultimate is exactly equal to the percentage that your ultimate's at. So right now, for example, it would do 62 damage, which is not very much. It ramps up exponentially after it gets to about like 150. Okay? This would only have done 132 damage to the Bastion, even if he wasn't Suzu'd, which would be only half his health because of armor. You're not going to confirm this kill anyway, so why not just keep waiting? You're in fortify, like you're taking like half damage, you have no head hitbox, you can wait a lot longer here and make sure you kill the Bastion, right? You probably want 300-ish damage here to make sure you're going to one-tap the Bastion. I don't even know if 300 one-tap him. Okay, see, now you don't have fortify and you nearly die there. You honestly should have died. The reason you don't die is because the soldier flanks and saves you with visor. Quote-unquote saves. So, again, that was also just not a good position to take a fight, right? Your team can't really help over here because, again, it's down the hill and an angle they can't help. Your soldier had to run all the way out here to try to help, or the top, whatever you end up doing. Taking a fight over here is much better because their DPS are down here and they can't shoot around the corner. I think you probably don't look at angles enough and understand what your team sightlines and the enemy team sightlines are. Okay, yeah, don't shoot what she's spinning. Right? In the Orisa matchup, I think that the goal is to bait her spin first, okay? Then to shoot her, and if she's like putting pressure on you, then you can spin into her after her spin so that you're dealing damage and blocking her shots, and then force her fortify. If I can bait her spin first, and then her fortify first, right? Her spin, her fortify, my fortify, after her fortify ends, I'm pretty much won the fight. Right? I can pretty much, that's like the way I walk over all the Orisas that I play against, is I bait their spin first just by having better mechanics, better line of sight, better cover, whatever it ends up being. Then they spin, I wait for it to end, then I spin into them, then that forces them to then use fortify to try to stay alive. I wait the fortify out, okay? And then often they spin after that, and then I can use spin to counter their spin, and then I pop fortify and I walk. At that point, I just literally just like run it down. Like I don't let them get away at all because they have nothing they can do to stop me. So at that point, they will get pushed back or die. Right. Again, as a note, for the other Orisa, when she has no spin and no fortify, which will happen if you bait fortify and then the spin that comes after that, all you have to do is walk into her, like point blank, point at her head and follow her around, and she will guarantee to die. There's no way, even the DPS can't keep, or even the supports can't keep up with 200, I think you do 120 damage a second, so all headshots is 240 damage a second, plus javelin. Like, there's no way that they can keep her up at that point. At that point, you're doing, like, basically Bastion damage to her face. You just can't do it until you know that she doesn't have abilities. As a small aim thing, I'm going to guess that your mouse pad isn't large enough, based on what just happens here. So you're going to notice that you move only this much. So it looks like you move to the edge of your mouse pad. Go back to it. So she's gonna, you can kill that. Okay, so you go for the Bastion. Okay. And so you have the Orisa's behind you, so you move right and then you stop, which I'm going to guess is you move to the right edge of your mouse pad. You picked it up, moved it back to the left, and then you turn again, right? And then you like sort of, and then probably you're doing like quick pickups over and over again, and this is why you're super inaccurate. So if you don't have a large mouse pad, like a, I don't know what this is, like a 1.5 by 1.5, like the large one from Steel Series, which is like $30, I would suggest you get a large mouse pad, or if, assuming you have desk space, obviously. But it's well worth the investment. Oh, good kill. Alright, it's just poking, right? You should be thinking, hey, how can I fire my ultimate as fast as possible? Good, right? You can tell this is ulti, right? Again, so obvious, like, visually, when she just spins in like that, and she makes a mistake too, right? Because she pops fortify early, which she shouldn't. So she spins in. This is clearly going to be ultimate. I have no interest in trying to walk here. I can't stop it, right? Like, there's nothing I can do here to stop this ultimate. She's gonna, even if she didn't fortify, like, even my javelin, it's just going to knock her into my team. So my goal here is, how do I stop the rest of the team from assisting here? So my goal should be, okay, I'm going to stay here outside of ult range so I don't get pulled into it, shoot, 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 displace, right, and spin if I have to prevent them from climbing this hill. Because as long as I prevent them from getting up to here, they can't do anything to my team, and it's a 4-on-1 against the Orisa, which your team should win. So don't even look at her. Don't even, see, like what you do right now is then you just give up, okay, and now you walk over this way, but you could easily stop. These two supports aren't going to do anything to you, right? Just stay here, physically prevent the Mercy and the Kiriko from ever getting there. Okay? She kills 2, nothing you could have done about that, right? Again, you just don't have the kit to be able to do that. The only thing you could have done is when she starts going towards your team, if you recognized right here. So this is something I've been thinking about a lot as Orisa, which is when their Orisa tries to go for an ulti, save spin, and you spin to boop her back here, which is what she did to you, if you remember, back on second point right here. Intentionally or not, that will prevent you from getting a good clean ulti off. But at this point, there's nothing else that you could have done other than, you know, play downhill. But even if you play downhill and they kill 3, you're like, you're gonna die. You can't win the fight. Okay, so he gets absolutely steamrolled here. Let's kind of walk this back slowly. So first thing is your team ready to go? Not quite. I think you need a few more seconds here. So I don't commit out hard here, right? I probably just like play this corner or something. I would not never javelin right away because again, like she spins first all the time, okay? You don't need to go to the cart quite yet. You actually have probably 4 or 5 more seconds, which is important seconds that you need right now. So I probably would have been playing this column. First, I would try to get the Orisa out of my team's face, right? Just mirror her. But after that, I would have played this column and then stepped on cart at the last possible moment. Dragon goes off, which is really fortunate. You're continuing to walk through the dragon instead of to the right. I mean, I guess left is also okay. I personally would have walked to the right because it's a lot safer. Because then you can use the cart for cover.
60 seconds
Right. So again, it's tough because you try to spin out too early, right? I naturally would have gone to the right here and stayed on the side of the cart, especially to go after the Hanzo, who's the most vulnerable one right now. Because I can see the Kiriko's on the left, the Hanzo's alone on the right, right? Just the Mercy in the air. So I can go after the Hanzo here. Kiriko's a tiny hitbox, and the Mercy can see. Like, I don't think that I can conceivably get that kill. Alright, you get Javelin to this. Yeah, it's just tough. Honestly, I don't know that I would have done all that much better in that situation. There's not a lot that you could do at that point. I would say that you could have farmed ulti better, is one thing, right? You're at 91 here. If you've done a better job farming ulti with just like better aim or mechanics earlier, you would have had ulti before then to influence the fight.
5.
Okay, again, you're popping spin, but you don't need it here, right? Don't waste them. Again, like you're covering a lot, but why? You know, it's like the Orisa's not even shooting at you right now. You can just keep shooting at her. And then you're gonna cover, but just peek again, right? Just keep shooting. Just feather, like tap the gun. That way you can keep shooting without having so much heat. You pop fortify here. It's just the Ashe. Honestly, I would just turn like javelin her, or just like poke her a little bit to get her off my case. Right? She's not gonna stay there forever. She's not gonna have supports. I think going left side of the cart here is good. Right? Hanzo's shooting you. that's kind of a reactionary spin, but you're not actually in danger. Like, he gets a headshot on you, but it is whatever. Right? Then you put a lot of shots to the cart, which is a problem that you consistently have. Is that you shoot a lot of shots, not actually at people, but you're just kind of spamming space. So just be more conscious of where you're trying to aim. Right? It's not a precision issue. You often end up just holding down the trigger, like you see right here, where you're just shooting the cart. Like, that's not an aim issue. It's like kind of like a trigger discipline issue. Okay? You're gonna have the same problem on the right side. So when you start shooting, right? You see these shots? Like, these aren't at anything. Like, you're just spamming to spam, which is one of the reasons why I literally think you could farm ulti like at least 25% faster if you just were better about trigger discipline. So far, I feel like this is pretty all regular. I don't use spin there, right? Because you waste half the spin before anything even happens. So you see, you're like way behind the corner. You're totally safe. Okay, she's used javelin. Now you see how you have to run up here, and you're gonna waste most of this spin, and then you throw javelin. But the thing is, like, you need to actually take space here. And space meaning is that you have to get around this corner safely. And usually that means either pushing to this or pushing to this. Spin could have helped you there. So for example, if instead of just spinning this far away, okay, you had started it from here, let's say, you would have pushed this Orisa all the way back to here. And her whole team would have fallen back as well. But instead, you barely move her, right? That's like one little bump. And now she goes back to holding the exact same corner, right? And now you didn't actually get it. So little things like that are how you have to take space. Okay? I know it seems like really small, but honestly, like little things like that will make a difference over the course of a game in terms of how quickly you can push the cart, which is ultimately what this is all about, how fast you move the cart. Alright, Widow dies here. Nothing you can do about that. Let it go. Alright, just regroup. Try to find multi. Okay, you lose 2. Again, it happens. Not a big deal. Right, this is what happens when it's mostly snipers. Right, you can't help that. Go back. Step for your murder. Okay, Hanzo's out of position. You identified it. So, minor, but potentially significant. So he cuts in here to inside. Okay? So, did I see him use jump? I did. I think I saw him use jump to get in here. Right? His jump is like kind of subtle, so it's hard to tell at times. Right? Yeah, so you see the kick jump right there? At this point, what you do is that you swing, I think, through here. But this is the wrong move, because the Hanzo only has 2 ways to survive. He's so low right now that pretty much any amount of spam will kill him, and none of the supports can see him. So he either has to go out through this door, or he has to come back this way. In order to prevent this, all you have to do is run at this angle directly here, because he's not going to step in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, if he steps in front of you, you just kill him right here. So that would force him to try to either duel it out in this small space, which he would lose, obviously, or it forces him to run out here, which gives you plenty of time to gun him down. But your angle that you take to cut him off ends up giving him the opportunity to come back to the right. You see this? Like, so he survives because you end up taking a bad angle. All you had to do was run here from the very beginning, right? We'll roll it back slightly. All you had to do was come this way instead of to the left, and he never would have survived. And then you get a pick, and in which case you're probably going to win the point. Okay? The only scenario where he does not die there is if Kiriko jumps in and Suzu's, and then the Orisa commits in on you as well. In which case, fine, I'll take that fight, right? That's like not a great fight for them in that situation. It's definitely like a doable fight, but probably at a minimum, I kill the Hanzo and then I die for it, right? But like that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that I kill the Hanzo and the Kiriko, and my team kills the Orisa, which I think is more likely to happen. It's a risk I would take. So don't lose track of the Orisa, right? Again, you should be very careful about this, like this kind of peak. You're also popping Fortify, you know, when you don't really need it again. Okay, so you pushed her a little back, but this is fine. I think again you need to play inside tight corner here, right, and just get it out with her right now. They pop Valk, fine, right? Valk's not like a high hit back ult. So she does this right away, again, because you don't have spin, right? You're not going to be able to do anything to stop this. You're going to use spin to get out. Again, I would just spin to get out, and then use fortify after that. Don't pop ult here, right? So, clearly, like, they make a mistake here. Orisa overextends. Now's the time to go, okay? You didn't even need to cover there. They're on the back foot. You have coalescence. Keep pushing. Right? Keep pushing right now, for sure, right? Your Moira looks like you're playing Moira right now. Your Moira wants to keep pushing. Just keep pushing in, right? As she's kind of afraid to peek it because the Hanzo could one-shot her, but if you just run in front, she's totally safe. So keep running forwards. Don't slow down here. This few second slowdowns gives them a chance to potentially get away, right? Got the Mercy down. Great. Don't go for the Kiriko. Kiriko can always escape as long as there's somebody else, right? In this situation where you see Kiriko, you know, overextended by you, and then you see Hanzo, and you know Kiriko has Swift Step, go for the Hanzo. Because after the Hanzo dies, she has no way of getting out, right? She has to run all the way over here and potentially Swift Step out that way. Go for the Hanzo. He's the only guaranteed kill here. Right? Again, that's what happens. Your team ends up getting killed. Great. So again, you spin way too early, right? Way too early. Like if Sigma wants to do this, you don't spin right now. It's not even giving you any value. I'd probably just wait. Right? I think it's. I mean, realistically, I think what I would do is spin into the Sigma because it deals damage. Grass doesn't stop spin. But I think the right call here is actually to not spin at all and just wait for this out and then spin him after. Now spin him and get him away from the cart so that the cart continues to move forwards. All right, good fortify. This is your opportunity. If you had spin, you could go forwards and Terror Surge if you had to. You're not going to need it because your DPS are fragging. Okay, easy. We're in cleanup mode. Okay, so we're here. You pop fortify first, which again I don't think is a good idea. Also, looking back, your team is not ready. You have to look back more. Your team is not ready for you to go in and pop this ulti. Okay, all you do is play slow. Just keep moving the cart. The Sigma's giving you space anyway. Literally, you can just stand behind the cart and just let the cart move forward. Shoot a shield, right? Poke on it a little bit. Throw a javelin, maybe get a kill. Other than that, just move forward. You can also clear this right room, which your supports and DPS are having trouble with. Okay, you have to clear space one at a time. You do an ulti, right? You hold it long enough to get the kill on the Mercy. Great. Right, this fight should be over because they're down 2. So they're down 2 right now. You can be aggressive. Okay, this is now the time where you can get aggressive. Just keep walking into them. You know the Sigma's low. You know you use Grasp. You know they use Suzu. Like they should die right now. Right? Okay, they use Bob. I don't think you reacted to the Bob though, but it is the right call to back up here and just burn down the Bob because right now so this is not the right call at all. You have full health, right? You have your cooldowns. You getting out of sight range allows the Sigma to just walk up and kill your team, and it allows the Bob to shoot people down. So you should have just stayed in the front. I don't know why you get so scared here of Bob. Bob doesn't do that much damage, right? Especially when you have 2 supports to save you. So you back out of this fight, which I don't think was the right call. I think even at this point, you probably could still win the fight, but now it's too late. So whenever you throw javelin, immediately follow up with shots just in case you can kill him. And if you throw him at head, shoot him at head level, you can potentially kill someone even at pretty long range. Again, you're using spin there, but you didn't use spin. The Sigma wasn't even looking at you, and the spin didn't do any damage. Okay. Again, look at timing. Your team is not here. Team isn't here. Okay, you're moving the cart, but honestly, if I was them, I'd be like, wait, you're overextended. I'm just going to kill you now. If I was Sigma, I'd push into you, not vice versa. So, by the way, if your team ends up having trouble clearing this, after you come out here, go through this door, come up, and then push them off high ground this way. You haven't gotten healed because you're too extended, right? Your supports have just arrived here now. Again, you're using a lot of heat here on targets that are not visible. Moira's in. Moira's in right now, right? Go. Like she's popping coalescence. Everything here is in danger from their side. You should just go in with this, right? Spin in, get aggressive, right? Try to kill people in the back line that she's focusing. You want to focus fire? Like this is not good. Like Moira's just carrying this fight right now by getting kills. So. Again, you're being really defensive there. There's nothing that I saw that would cause me to be defensive. You definitely should be aggressive there. Pretty regular, right? Again, you're wasting so much heat on shooting nothing. Okay, starting from right here, right? You spin through. Right, this is okay. You fortify to block rock, that's fine. Keep shooting him. Right, he stops. Stop shooting him. Good. Right, you throw down. That's okay. Yeah, keep shooting. Right, now you see how you keep shooting after that. You spin in, but the spin's not doing anything. Right. You look back. Okay, there's a tracer, but nothing you can do about that. Just shoot the shield down. Right, you see how those like kind of miss it. Like you're not actually. It's not misses in the sense that you're aiming someone, you miss it. You're just kind of shooting space, and as a result, your heat ends up getting really high. Right, you see like this. I think this is only half speed, right? You can see a lot of shots that you're just throwing into walls, but you could like literally double your accuracy by just being better about fire discipline, trigger discipline. You don't need ulti here because they've already killed one, right? Now you've killed two, so you're saving ulti, which is good, right? You hear the Hanzo up top. Right now, I would jump here. I would spin over and try to kill Hanzo quickly. Right? Playing this is a bad mistake because he could potentially keep picking off your teammates. Right? Your Moira has to go up to kill him. It's okay. You leave the cart for a second. Just go kill him. Like he has no way of getting out at that point in time. So now you should recognize, hey, you're down 2, they're down 1, but they have close spawns. I cannot push past this corner. Right? This corner I have to wait at. Okay. Pushing in is a mistake right now, as I already mentioned, because you're down. Right? You only have 3. You pushed around, again, a 90-degree corner, which means that their team can all attack you. Your team is nowhere close to being able to help. All you do is back up here. Right? Don't try to get kills. Don't try to get kills. Oh, you're using ulti. Right? Your team got to kill. Great. Stay alive. Most important thing, stay alive, and this fight's won. Okay. Now, right? You can walk forward and Terra Surge if you want. Oh, actually, once you get healed. Right? Wait. See, you're like trying too hard to poke at them, but if you just stay in the back, your healers can more consistently heal you, and then you can go forward. The Ana's gonna have trouble healing you because you're constantly dancing around the cart. Right, heal. Right, she starts walking forwards. You're not in line of sight. Right, she heals you. Right, great. Actually, you go in here. Right, try to go for the Mercy. I think that's probably the right call here. Once the person gets rezzed, I go for the person who's rezzed. The Hanzo has no way of getting away. This close, the Hanzo jump doesn't move nearly far enough. At this distance, this Hanzo should die. That's your easiest kill right here, is the one who just got rezzed. Right, you should have killed him earlier. Right, you get him with the Javelin, good Javelin. Just keep running on the Zarya. Even Bubble here, keep shooting. Right, good call. Right, just keep shooting. Right, she should die. Good call. A lot of people there would not shoot the Zarya. Okay, you get lifted by the wall, that's fine, right? Most important thing, keep the Mei off the cart. I want to force block as soon as possible, because that's really what's going to time gate us from capping, is the Mei using block to buy more time. Dragon comes out. Back off of that. So, recognize, okay, who's vulnerable here? It's not going to be the Mei, right? Not until she comes out of this. The Kiriko she's kind of a small hitbox. The Mercy's probably a good target here, and the Hanzo once he gets close. Right? So, Kiriko gets killed quickly. You know Mei doesn't have block right now. She gets bubbled, fine, switch targets. Right? Mei's available again, you go for the Mei. Good. Right, again, a really good trick. You spin, knock people into wall, then Javelin to guarantee that you're going to land a hit, because it's very easy to hit them when they're pinned against the wall. With spin, that is. Try to kill the Zarya here. I think I probably would still go for the Kiriko here, because I saw the Kiriko was low. And yeah, this is just kind of target priority you're having some issues. Again, you saw the Kiriko super low in front of you. That was 2 melees and she would have died. Yeah, a little messy. They definitely could have stalled this out longer. Okay, I don't think it's actually necessary for me to watch the rest of the game. So, overall, what are the big things? Number 1, ability usage. I think you pop Spin and Fortify when you don't actually need them. Especially when you're not in danger, and you don't use Fortify enough to push back the opposing team, which is really important on Orisa. Number 1. Number 2, I think your ultimates are typically not very good value. I think you need to really spin more into them, get a clean, like full. First of all, get close, then spin deep into the team, then ulti to be able to pull them in, and save Fortify after. And number 3 is consistently taking engagements where your team is not able to help you, either because they're spawning or because of line of sight. I think those are the biggest things that I see. Hopefully that's helpful.